Welcome to Salt Lake City, to Park City, and back again. I'm Kari Diaz. In the next half hour, my co-host Meghan, Burk, and I will take you on a family-friendly adventure, visiting some of the interesting sites and activities that make Salt Lake City and Park City fun for every generation. Today, I'm at the Clark Planetarium. For more than 50 years, the planetarium has been Salt Lake's go-to destination for visitors of all ages who want to discover and learn about space and science. They engage audiences through educational outreach, hands-on exhibits, on-site programming, and the IMAX and Dome theaters. Let's meet up with director Seth Jarvis to learn more. Okay, Seth, we're inside the planetarium now. Tell us what level we're on.
This is the first level, which is dedicated to the Earth and the Earth-Moon system, so this is known as Restless Planet.
Restless Planet, and there are two other levels, correct?
Right, one level up from us is the level dedicated to the Sun-Earth physics environment, all about aurora and the northern lights and that sort of thing. And then the top floor is the solar system and beyond, about our solar system, our neighborhood in space, and deep space.
And if people haven't been to the planetarium, it is so fascinating when you just step in the door. What can they expect to see?
The building is full of interactive, hands-on, very collaborative, focused
for
science.
All ages, right?
All ages, but the idea is that people here and get their hands and their bodies involved in playing with science, and it's all free. We're open 7 days a week. The only thing that we charge admission for is the IMAX theater and the Dome theater. But wandering around here, when you walk in the door, you're going to see the giant exhibits from the old days at Hansen Planetarium, where we used to be down on State Street. That's our Earth globe, our Foucault pendulum, our moon rock, our Mars globe, our moon globe.
So we've moved these from there.
Yeah,
to
so
the
we
new
took
location.
the great iconic exhibits from the Hansen Planetarium, where we were from 1965 to 2002, and then we brought them all over here. When we opened in 2003 as the Clark Planetarium, we took the coolest exhibits from Hansen and incorporated them into a building full of new interactive exhibits that is now the Clark Planetarium.
Now, would you say that the planetarium is for all ages? Can you bring the whole family down?
I have had 2-year-olds telling their parents facts about Jupiter, and then I have seen many octogenarians explaining to their grandkids what they remembered the state of aerospace adventure in their childhood. So yes, for all ages, absolutely.
How much time would you say, if you only had a couple hours to look through the planetarium, is that enough, or should you take a half a day?
I would give this place at least a half a day, because you can spend several hours just exploring the exhibits alone.
Yeah.
And if you take in a program in the IMAX theater or the Dome theater, give yourself more time for that, at least a half a day.
And tell us really quickly, do you have a favorite on this level?
My favorite is the giant Nantan meteorite. That is
pretty cool.
A 1-ton chunk of the formation of the solar system.
So very cool. Okay, yeah. Seth, I can't wait to see the rest. Thank
you
so much.
Let's do it.
I'm ready to see some of the exciting exhibits here at Clark Planetarium. When we come back, I'll give you a look inside 3 floors of free hands-on interactive exhibits. Stay with us. Salt Lake City to Park City and back again will return in just a few moments. Welcome back. I'm Kari Diaz. We're here today at Clark Planetarium. Located in downtown Salt Lake City, the planetarium offers 10,000 square feet of exhibit space, which is free to the public. Let's check back in with Seth Jarvis to learn more about some of the exciting exhibits that the planetarium has to offer. Okay, Seth, we are on the third level now. What are we going to see up here?
Up here, this is the area we call the solar system and beyond. This is where we have our scale model solar system. Behind us is all the little planets, the little objects in the solar system, really cool. This is our icy bodies world, very interactive.
I could watch that all day long.
There's a lot of cool stuff up here. Next to us here is the Dome Theater, where we have programs that play all day long to teach you some really cool things about space. Down the hall is the IMAX Theater, where we have science and nature documentaries, you know, the really cool big IMAX films.
Yeah.
So the top level is full of exhibits to play with. It's also where our big theaters are.
It's so much fun, and if you can hear, there's a lot of noise because you didn't want it like a library where everyone had to be quiet, but people can have fun here, right?
Our mission is to inspire a sense of wonder in the natural world and the cosmos around us, and to cultivate an appreciation for the science of in our everyday lives. So if your goal is to get people excited about science, you've got to allow them to be excited.
Yeah.
And that means walk around, hear sounds, listen to your kids run around and squeal with laughter when they discover something cool. Life is a kind of a noisy, energetic experience, so why not let science education take place in that environment?
Absolutely. Now, what are some of the kids' favorite interactive games up here on this level?
What kids really love doing is playing on the gravity floor. They love driving the robot rovers on the surface of an alien world.
We did that earlier.
They play
it's
that
so
for
fun.
a long time. They'll play with the Newton's Daydream audio kinetic sculpture. The whooshing sound you hear in the back is them piloting a spacecraft onto a landing pad using jet thrusters of compressed air. Over here, they like to pretend they're doing a weather report from another planet, and we use green screen technology to video project them onto Mars or Pluto or someplace like that in the solar system. So there's not, I would say the gravity floor, they will just dance on this thing for the longest time.
It looks like a
and
fun
then
dancing spot.
play the robot rovers until their parents drag them screaming away from it.
All the way home.
Yeah.
So much fun here.
Yeah.
Seth, thank you so much for giving us the tour.
Thank you.
When we return, the adventure continues in Park City, and there's so much more to see here at Clark Planetarium. Stick with us, we'll be right back. Thanks for joining us on Salt Lake City to Park City and back again. I'm Kari Diaz. The Clark Planetarium is so much fun, but it's time to head up to Park City to see what my co-host Meghan Burk is doing today. Meghan?
Thanks, Kari. Now you're here at Park City's Swanner Preserve and Eco Center. This permanently protected 1,200-acre nature center provides educational opportunities for both children and adults alike through nature walks, wildlife viewing opportunities, and more. Let's go visit with Hunter to learn about this extraordinary place. Hunter, what a beautiful nature preserve.
Thank you. So we have 1,200 acres of nature preserve here. All of it is preserved in perpetuity.
It's 1,200 acres, but there's a lot of different points of interest, I should say.
Right, exactly. So on the wetland side, that side is closed to the public other than this trail, and then we have one self-guided discovery trail that's a gated trail. And then on the upland side, which is on the north side of the preserve, those 350 acres, the Glen Wild Trail system is located on that side. So that's accessible to the public 24/7, and people can go and enjoy that side as well. They can get a good view of East Canyon Creek, check out the wildlife that's over there. There are a couple of good bird viewing spots. And on the Glen Wild Trail, you can hike, bike, you can take your dogs there as long as they stay on leash. It's a great multi-use trail. So other than the Glen Wild Trail system, we also have the Eco Center here. So we're standing on the boardwalk that goes out a little bit onto the wetland. At the end of this boardwalk over here, we have, there's a little end of the deck pier. You can stand there, you can look at pictures of what wildlife and animals we have here on the preserve and check those out. So inside of the Eco Center, we have lots of other activities going on that we can check out later. And then other than that, we also have education programming. So that's a big part of the preserve as well.
You keep things very interactive here, which is really exciting. So I guess I want to touch upon the history a little bit about the preserve and the Eco Center and how this whole idea came about.
Right. So the Swanner family actually used to ranch on about 200 acres of the preserve. And when the father of their family, Leland Swanner, passed away, they decided that they wanted to turn this into some sort of protected space. And then they learned a little bit about how important the wetland ecosystem is. So once they learned that, they caught the conservation bug and they decided to really turn it into a preserve.
Maybe give some details on the nature walk that we're about to explore.
We go out at 8:30. It's about an hour and 15-minute walk, sometimes a little bit more than that. And we'll learn about what kind of plants and animals we have here on the preserve. We'll talk about the ecology of the wetland. And we'll look for signs of animals. We'll try to find whatever we can. We talk about some of the plants. We can tailor the walk to kids, adults, any age group is great. Even if you have someone who can't walk very far, they can come out and go on just a little portion of the preserve. Kind of an interesting way to get out there. They can hear the history, and then they're more than welcome to come and sit on the deck and enjoy the view until we're finished.
And enjoy the view is an understatement.
Yeah,
it is beautiful. I cannot wait to get out there.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing all this information.
No problem.
And I'm ready to explore.
Yeah, let's do it.
When we return, we're venturing out on the nature trail. Wait till you see what's coming up next, only on this episode of Salt Lake City to Park City and back again. You're watching Salt Lake City to Park City and back again. I'm your host, Megan Burk, and right now we're at the Swanner Preserve and Eco Center about to hit the trail on one of their Saturday morning nature walks.
So we have the Swanner Preserve here. It's now 1,200 acres, and this entire side of the preserve, the wetland side, is protected under conservation easement. So those easements mean that this land will be protected in perpetuity. No one else will be able to build on it or do anything but conservation work to keep it at its best wetland habitat. As this wetland, it has all of these great plants. There's over 200 species of plants here on the preserve. Those plants sort of help to filter the water. The soil quality helps to filter the water. And so as that water sits here, it gets filtered, and that means that's a little bit less filtering that we have to do to be able to use it later on and for animals to be able to use it. Because this side is under conservation easement, it is closed to the public, so we get a unique opportunity to get to go out onto it today, the portion that the public doesn't usually get to access. the ground feels pretty dry right now, right? Yeah. But I said this was a wetland, didn't I? But it's dry. Doesn't that seem weird?
Yeah, it does. We just talked about
Right? Right? Wetlands only have to be wet part of the time. But the great part is, if you guys had been here in the spring, we had such a great snow year this year, we had so much snow, that if you were walking through this, the water would be up to there on your ankles. So this, in the spring, when there's all that water melting down, you can see all the mountains that we're surrounded by. And pretty much every face that you see, the snow that melts from there, comes to this wetland. And so as that water comes into the wetland, it has a really good spot to sort of slowly start moving. So very slowly, that water makes its way. There's 2 streams that go under the highway over there, and they go over to the other side of I-80. When they get over there, they go into East Canyon Creek, and eventually they go down into the East Canyon Reservoir and then into the Weber River. Some of that water from the Weber River is then used for drinking water here in Park City, and then what isn't used goes down eventually into the Great Salt Lake. So all of this is part of the Great Salt Lake watershed. All right, let's keep walking through the grass.
Have you introduced any new species now that this preserve has been restored, or any other animals?
No, we try not to introduce anything new. We want only native species, ideally. So this is a great spot to see the Baltic Rush. So as we look out, you can see how it's a really dark patch of grass. It almost looks like it's been burned, right? Yeah. And that's all that Baltic Rush growing. So the really dark colors all come from the Baltic Rush. So that means that this is an area that would probably have a lot of water during the spring, right? Because the Baltic Rush tends to grow where it's really wet. Right here is my favorite plant on the preserve. This is called Scouring Rush. It's really cool because it comes apart into all these awesome little pieces, and you can put it back together. So you can make necklaces or bracelets out of it. The other neat thing is that it's really rough. So it used to be used, Native Americans would use it they would use it to scour their pots. They would clean their pots with it. And then also as a toothbrush. So this is a good thing to clean your teeth with, right? And the other great thing about this plant and why it grows here is that it's a good wetland plant. It's a rush. Remember, rushes are round, sedges have edges. And it can hold water in each one of these little individual straws.
Wow, that was an incredible nature walk. When we return, we're headed inside the Eco Center, only on this episode of Salt Lake City to Park City and back again.
Welcome back. We're here in Park City at the Swanner Nature Preserve. Now let's head in and check out the Eco Center with Hunter.
So right now we're in the exhibit hall, and we have quite a few elements in here that are interactive. So the first being the climbing wall right over here. So that's open on Saturdays and Sundays in the afternoons. People are more than welcome to come in and try it out.
I'll be on there soon.
Yeah, right, exactly. And then we also have behind us, we have the Beaver Dam and the Coyote Den exhibit. Both of those are interactive. You can crawl into them. They each have small models of their young in them. And so you can sort of pretend to be a beaver or pretend to be a coyote. We also have our River Runs Through Us exhibit where you can sort of touch through different parts of our water ecosystem in the watershed. We have some examples of different bones over here in the display cases. We have nests in the display cases behind me. There's a building model of the sustainable elements, so you can actually do a self-guided green building tour. This is a great room for people to get to really come in from being outside. So if they're on the deck, they can come in and kind of get a more immersive experience into the preserve, learn a little bit more in depth about what we have happening here on the preserve.
Definitely a great hands-on tool for educational purposes, everyone passing through here. So I can get harnessed up and climb this.
Definitely, let's do it.
All right, we're climbing the ecosystem.
Yeah. So as you climb the wall, it's really neat because you actually get to go through some different parts of our watershed and our ecosystem. So you start out down in the dirt below the water, then you go up into the water of the stream, and eventually you get into the riparian zone and the land above the stream with lots of animals and the wildlife that we have here on the preserve.
I hope you've enjoyed this interactive experience at the Swanner Preserve and Eco Center. Now it's time to head back again to Kari in Salt Lake City.
Thanks, Megan. We're back in Salt Lake City at Clark Planetarium. The exhibits have been fascinating, but the planetarium also has one of the best science stores in Salt Lake City. Let's go check it out. We're here with Mike now. He's the store manager. Mike, what a fun store to manage. Are you kidding?
Well,
Tell us all the stuff you have.
It is fun. Get to spend my time buying cool stuff and toys. What a good job, huh?
What's the most popular item, would you say?
Well, we've got the old favorites like astronaut ice cream and rock candy and things like that that have been around forever. We fancy ourselves a science store, so we have lots of science kits of all types, insects and space and magnets and all kinds of different stuff. And of course, we carry telescopes and binoculars and things for the eclipse that just went by.
I know. I was going to ask you, was that a little crazy here
That
for
was
the eclipse?
crazy. It was crazy.
That's something fun to see.
Yeah.
Very historic, right?
Yeah.
What's some of your favorite stuff in the shop?
Well, some of my favorite stuff, we've got a big selection of plasma balls, which are kind of cool. It's tough to find plasma right now. We've got like Salt Lake's biggest selection of Harry Potter and Hogwarts stuff, so that's fun.
Wow.
When we can get it, all kinds of the kids are really into the goop and the slime right now.
Oh, that's so
stuff like
popular.
that.
Yep.
And then Newton's cradles and science-y gadgets and gizmos. We've won like 3 years in a row the City Weekly Best Gadgets and Gizmos store. So
That's what I was going to
at
say.
Christmas
Is
time.
What makes the shop so unique? Just
Yeah.
all of the items that you have.
We try to find stuff that you don't see in Walmart or in Mass. You know, it's all cool
Here at the
gadgets and
planetarium.
gizmos. Yeah.
Now, do you have stuff for all ages? Are we going to find something here maybe for a 3-year-old and then also my dad, per se?
Yeah. Well, the bigger kids are better. I don't have a lot of little kid stuff. You know, 6 and up kind of thing.
6 and
Science
up.
kits for beginners.
Okay.
Kind of a things. We have lots of that kind of stuff. And then, of course, lots of stuff for dad. So.
Hey, you're giving me some ideas. And what's your favorite part about the planetarium?
I like the fact that everybody, when you come here, it's a happy place, right? You know,
So true.
You're here to learn, and you don't have to worry about what's going on in the world and hurricanes and stuff. So
You can step into the planetarium,
into
forget about it all.
That's right. Step into space.
And I love that it's free, first of all. You can come in and bring the family and do
Yeah.
all the interactive exhibits. There's so many different exhibits. Do you have a favorite one?
You've seen all of our new exhibits, huh? I like the rovers. Except
That is
I can't
cool.
drive very well, so.
I know. I did that
Need
for a little bit,
practice.
and I'm afraid of it. But it seems pretty easy. I just don't know
Yeah.
if I acquired
The kids
it.
are better than we are. Yeah.
Now, is the shop open certain hours? When can
We're
people
open
come down?
anytime that the planetarium's open, so like till 7 o'clock on Sunday through Wednesday, and then till late on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Amazing. And you guys probably have stuff during holidays. Great for
Oh
gifts.
yeah, we'll have some cool holiday stuff coming in that's neat for the fourth quarter, and come and see us.
Thanks so much, Mike. It's great to chat with you.
Thank you.
A big thank you to all of our guests from Salt Lake City and Park City for joining us today, and thank you for watching. Be sure to join us on the next episode of Salt Lake City to Park City and back again. See you then. I'm gonna go catch a show.